Hello, it's day number 335 of 365 days of awesome. Celebrate success through service. And yes, I have one of my coaches, the Bald Avenger, also known as Jason Sisneros. He is actually service hero number 300. However, he gets two numbers now. He gets 300 and 335. I think they're both good numbers.
I
And
love both of those numbers.
good. And I am so excited to have Jason on with me today because we are going to talk about what it is that we bring you guys up to date on what it is that we're doing since the Impactor show and since we started coaching together and what we are producing for Giving Tuesday. It is with this amazing business mind that, yes, we are putting together a fantastic production. So thank you very much for being with me today, Jason.
Absolutely my pleasure. Always my pleasure to be with you. You know that.
Well, it's a vice versa. I have to say that we truly do have fun in our get-togethers. We have amazing people that are working with us that are volunteers because we are building a nonprofit. And the quality of the individuals and the passion and the dedication that they all bring, boy, I can't even say enough about that and brag about them. However, I will say this is that we are all learning from you, and I appreciate that. In fact, many of them are showing up right now. Let's just say hello before we get going. Hello, Carol.
Hi, Carolyn.
She actually brings always a lot of fun. And then we have Erin, who has taken on the administrative, the assistant role. I mean, you have Danielle, we have Erin, and Erin, I can't say enough wonderful things about her.
It doesn't run without people. Like, I mean, it just doesn't. Like, if no matter what happens in front of the camera or on stage or in front of people, I'm just telling you, I would not be anywhere if it wasn't for Danielle, if it wasn't for Carlos, if it wasn't for Joe, if it wasn't for Leah on my team. There is no Jason. You know what I mean? And Erin kicks ass. Like, she literally just stepped in, gave her a little bit of coaching on the systems that we run under, and man, she was off and running. So I am super grateful to have her as part of your team and to watch her operate.
Thank you. I agree 100%. And then we have one of our favorites, Kat Dawn. Hi, Kat. Great to have you here with us. Yes, love her. And we have Skip Thomas, who actually went live with me this morning because we are so excited to have this, Emmy Award winning film person, videographer, editor, extraordinaire storyteller. And he went live with me today, and so that we would encourage people to submit 30-second videos and testimonials of why is it that they are joining us for Chemo Buddies for Life. Why is it that this subject matter is important to them, and what is their story, the whys. And so thank you, Skip, for being here for that.
Skip is a beautiful bald man too.
Yeah, he is. He's one of our few bald ones. We've got a few of them. I think that there's this little bald club going on. And then we have Shelly Heart to Heart.
Oh, yeah, I love it. She says the words that we all feel about her.
Yes.
Shelly is very an enormously beautiful soul.
Yes, she is. Yes. And let's see. What is she saying here? Spine. I'm the face. I need a spine.
So she's talking about the support. I mean, she has
okay.
The women at A New Dawn are, they prop her up. She's a badass, but she's surrounded by badasses that make that whole thing work. So it's kind of the theme, right, Tamara, where you surround yourself with, and I've done it both ways, and so have you, right? We've surrounded ourselves with fakes and frauds and people that were that, you know, that said they would do stuff for us, and people that said they would come through, and people, and maybe you and I have been fakes and frauds to other people too in some time in our life. But as you get older, you realize, look, you know, the only thing that we have is our integrity. The only thing that we have is our word. And then you start to demand that of other people, right? The standards that by which you hold yourself to are the standards by which you will hold the people that surround you to. And if you're not holding yourself to standards, it's like anything goes and anything for a buck and all that kind of stuff. Guess who you're going to be surrounded by, you know?
Right. Yes.
And so the older I've gotten, the more adamant I am around, you know, and I'll give everybody, you know me, I'll give everybody a chance. Everybody, literally. And but you find out that some people are where they are because of themselves. And
right,
you know,
right. And I really appreciate that about you. I have to say that because of the fact that you have a persona. Let's just be honest. You've got the bald Avenger going on. You've got that bald thing that you can own. You know, there you have an attitude that you present. However,
wait, did you talk to my mom before this? She's always telling me I got an attitude.
Okay, well, I'm tuning into her then. Well, I am a mom, you know. There you go. But with that said, I have to say you are one of the fairest people that I know. Okay. And that is something that I've come to really respect and understand. And we've had those discussions, and it really means a lot to me because of the fact that you don't want to just assume, number one, you don't. And things happen. And so you understand that. And so you give a fair shake. You understand, but you have to stand for your integrity. You have to understand where your integrity is. It has to be deep within you. And then you need to be able to say, okay, it's all right if you're not going to ride this journey with me because you are somewhere else in your life currently.
Well, and it's okay for you to say, I'm not riding on the train you're on either, right? I mean, that's the issue. And when you talk about it, you know, I want to just address it, and then I want you to keep talking. But it's, you know, it's this word that is grace. I have been extended so much grace in my life. I have been an asshole to so many people when I was younger, when I was growing up. You know, when we all think we know more than we actually do. And I have been extended grace by people who still chose to mentor me, who still chose to love me through those times, that still, and that, again, as I've learned those lessons, and which is later in life for me, I'm going to be really honest, to learn those lessons, because I, you know, those of you that are good mothers and good fathers out there, I adore you so much, and your children don't know what they have in you, right? My mom did the best she could with what she had, but I had an adopted father that I watched solve problems with anger and violence, and, you know, he went to prison when I was 17, right, for attempted murder of me and my mom. And so that was my upbringing. And it took a lot of men, specifically, my grandfather was the first one, filled with grace and understanding towards me being an asshole that has meant everything to me. And so now as people come in, when I was younger, I used to judge people all the time. Well, you're an asshole. You're an asshole. And all I was doing was speaking the words I felt about myself. Right. And now I see so much potential and so much and have learned the capacity that love is not weakness. Love is actually strength. And so instead of building muscle, like, you know, to be able to fight, and it's building a muscle of love to be able to extend that grace to a wider and wider group of people who may or may not have ever experienced it, and frankly may not deserve it, right? Because I'm not sure I deserved it in my life.
Well, okay, that's where I'm going to say I actually, because I am one of those kind of people that, in truth, I didn't cause a lot of problems when I was a kid. I was one of those kids that many would call goody two shoes, you know, and then I just always had this internal drive to do things well and to do them, if you will, right. I fell into life you know, and then experienced it, and I experienced it in all sorts of different ways. And so then some can say, oh yeah, that's when she had her issues. Well, you know, I lived my life. However, I can't say that there was ever a time that I was out to hurt anyone, or be, if you will, this BITC, you know what, or any of those kind of things, you know. However, some could say, oh yeah, but she was, because again, sometimes we show up to life and it's how at that moment. And so that's where I believe when people take that stand of saying life happens, nothing is perfect, and we do the best we can, we navigate, and when we have people that are willing to give us grace and not be judgmental, and then say, okay, I get it. Now you're at a crossroads. Where are you going to go? I'm here and you can join me. I'm not going to judge you if you decide to go another way. However, that grace is huge. And I believe that too many people lose sight of that. And that's why I'm so grateful we're actually having this conversation, because that's one of the things I have found about working with you, Jason, is that you actually have that. And it's not like it really, you know, you have this persona, you have this side of you that gets out there because of who you are and what you do. Mm-hmm. However, I do believe because of life, you now have the side that you give back. Mm-hmm. You give back so much. Mm-hmm. And not everybody knows that. Maybe not everybody understands that. And some people might judge. And
some people just don't give a shit, and that's okay, you know.
And
that's okay. Look, everybody does the best they can with what they have, and the other side of that coin, before we go too far, is that you should never be anybody's mat, right? You should never be anybody's walking mat, and there is a place, there's a cutoff, you know, and like I see M's on here, and you know, she'll tell you, I have a switch, right, and when it goes off, boom. I'm sorry, I love you, but goodbye, right? and I have that side to me where, you know, that if somebody thinks that they're going to get away with something, I understand that a lot of people in this world, and you know, Tamara, because I watch you navigate it as well, the people are always testing, right? A lot of people come to get rather than to give. And that means in all aspects of life. And so you've got to be vigilant as a leader of people. You have to be vigilant of those people. I'm conscious of the fact that there's people that come to Tamara, right? Because she's doing big things in the world, and and I'm conscious that they come to Jason and I want that. That's why we put our spirits out there, is because we want to support, we want to grow, we want to lift people up. But then, you know, there's that side that people think that they're getting something over on you. You know what I mean?
Right.
They think that you're stupid. They mistake weakness for stupidity, and then they're not there to give. And I'm fine. But Misfit Nation, I'm radically protective of. And that means that if somebody comes in and they're trying to walk all over people, and they're trying to, oh, that's cool, you got the little logo. I love doing your show. You're always so prepared. I love it. So I love, and that's what I get, radically protective of people, that there's people that are here to get, that are in pain. And they're literally like, they're hanging out with you, they're hanging out with them, they're hanging out with Aaron, they're hanging out with like the Skips of the world and the different people, because they need to have an infusion of love and of belief and of lifting up. They need it, but just as quickly they turn around and give it back. Rayanne Gardner, right?
Yeah, I love.
Desperately horrible circumstances in this last year, but shows up, and yes, she needs our love. Yes, she needs lifted up, but then she gives it back in spades. You know, Kat's the same way. She got her ass handed to her over the last 9 months, and you know, but again, there's enough grace there, and wanting to lift her and wait for her to come back from, you know, being pregnant and having heart issues and, you know, all these other things. That's what Misfit Nation's all about. And there's groups of human beings out there that are they're what's the word I'm looking for? They're predators. right? They're predators.
Oh, right. Yes. Yes.
And they'll
Yes.
they'll take and they'll suck out a group of people, and then they'll just move to the next group, never learning the lesson. And so I love the fact that Misfit Nation, I have the ability to go in, find out where those things are, make sure that we're protecting each other. We don't have to be judgy about those things. We just have to be careful and make sure that our people don't partake in some of these other areas where those people are literally just there to get, they're not there to give. They haven't learned the lessons yet, or they have learned them and they've chosen to be those people that cause suffering instead of ease suffering.
Right, right. Well, thank you for that. And I will say also, thank you for one of the very first conversations we had after I won. And it was, okay, we're going to coach, we're going to go forward. You actually said to me, I have your back. And I'll never forget that. That meant so much to me, because that is what we need in this world. We need to be able to have each other's backs. And may I just also, at this very moment in time, we just talked about her, Ray Ann Gardner. She today has been doing so much to help with our movement. We have so many amazing people that have just dedicated themselves to make things better. So let's keep going. We are producing something that is huge.
Spectacular.
And this is the second annual, and immediately thereafter, we're going to go for the third annual. And we were talking about this just recently, in that we are going to own Giving Tuesday.
Yes.
Right?
Own it.
Own it.
It's going to be Tamara's Giving Tuesday. It's going to be Giving Tamara's Tuesday. It's going to be Giving Tuesday Tamara with Tamara. Like that's what it's going to be.
I love it. I love it. There. I love it, because you need to be able to, nowadays it's called branding, it's called cause marketing. There's all sorts of ways of being able to say, you want to make a difference, create your tribe. You want to do this, do that. We are saying, anybody that knows me, in fact, that's the kind of the joke, and thank goodness for those people that take care of things. Yes, I did figure out that we do have, I did have the Zoom wrong, and we did have, it's like, I've been locking people out. I didn't know, because, it's like, all right, there's certain things that we're good at, and there's other things. However, the one thing that I do know about Tamara L. Hunter, is that I don't live in a box. I don't understand what a box is, and anything and everything is possible. So when Jason and I talked about this in the beginning, I'm like, okay, you're like, he was like, okay, we'll plan this. And I'm like, okay, I already know what we've got to do. This is the vision. We are going to be the next Jerry Lewis telethon, and we're going to bring it out there. We're going to own Giving Tuesday. We're going to start this year, and next year it's going to be huge, and it's going to be then we got the name Giveathon, and you were like, love it. Okay.
Let's do it. I mean, look, at the end of the day, Tamara, you know this. I mean, I will yell at this, the skies and the heavens to everybody watching this every single day, is that if you don't know where you're going, how the hell are you going to get there? Right. And so when you come out and you speak that, because I know, look, I may not have been your coach on the next Impactor, but I was with you. You know what I mean? Yeah. And one of the things that we always talked about was, if you're going to play a game, then you should speak that you're going to win that game, right? You should speak it into existence. Right. And so then you can see, like, that means, okay, I'm going to win the next Impactor. I'm going to be the next Jerry Lewis, Giveathon, or whatever that the next Jerry Lewis, and then you can start to measure towards it. Right. Because what was one of the very first things that I said, the first meeting that I stepped into with y'all? What are we doing? Right? What's
exactly. Right. What is the goal? Yeah. You made us state the goals.
I hate goal. I said outcome. I hate goal.
Outcome. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Outcome. Right. Exactly. Outcome. And then we're going through it in a real dedicated way with measurable outcomes, and we're able to, track it. We're able to do it with the MEOs. We and so then you taught us. And I finally have figured out what a storm is.
Well, and the other thing is, because, when I asked that, right, we're having all these things, and it's not just indicative of you, because you're a great leader. You're an amazing human being, but very few of us are taught to live in a world where we measure our progress, right? We are taught to feel good about what we do. We're taught to, we'll just navigate our way through the problems and the issues. And I look at that, which I did during the first half of my lifetime. And I go, that was such a ginormous waste of energy, right? Because I didn't know where the hell, how do you measure?
Right. Yeah.
And our goal, we have 2 outcomes for Giving Tuesday, right? Well, we have 3. We have the overarching to be the next Jerry Lewis, and we have 2 other ones. What are they?
The 50,000 and 2 sign-up buddies.
There you go. Right. I mean, now we can figure out on the way to it, how are we getting closer to, or are we getting further away? Did this activity that I did over the last 7 days, did it get us closer to or further away? All right, cool. Now we're surrounded by our leadership team, and we can bounce off. Hey, you know what, Tamara, I need this. Hey, you know what, Noel, I need this. Hey, Skip, we need to do this. And everybody's listening, and we're all it's the tip of the spear with a whole hell of a lot of power behind it. Instead of all of this, this energy that gets scattered all over the place. And most of the time it's nepotism, right? It's nepotism, which is, the people that are doing something, they want to kiss your ass. How many times, I've watched you. You don't even have to answer the question. A lot of people tell you, I want to help you, right? Mm-hmm. And they do that usually when it's the most advantageous for them in front of other people. Okay. And then when it comes time to actually get your hands dirty and show up and do the work, it's like, I thought you were coming to do this. Yeah. And phone calls, blah, 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 blah. You have an entire group of people that show up on these meetings, and they have to deal, number one, they have to deal with my ass. And number 2, they have to deal with expectations, not only expectations, but accountability week to week. Right. They are being held, and they're willing, all of them that are there now are more than willing to be held accountable.
Yeah. In fact, they look forward to it.
They look forward to it. They're because most people, here's the thing, Tamara, most people want to win in life. They want to win. They don't want to go to work and be miserable. They don't want to be they want to go to work and win. And so many companies are not set up for the participants in that team, on that family, because that's what a business is, or a charity. It's not set up for them to win. It's set up for them for someone at the top to take as much as they possibly can from the efforts of others. It's wrong. That's old school thinking. It doesn't work that way anymore. Right. Or if it does, I hope it doesn't last for long. Right. I hope that entire model dies a very painful death, because it sucks. It's not the right way. And when you have good business owners and you have good heads of 501c3s and charities, they serve. It's exactly the inverted pyramid, right? They're carrying everything on their shoulders. Those are good business owners. Those are good leaders. Those are good charity heads of their charity. And those are the ones that usually get crushed under the weight of their service and love for other people. They're the ones that go bankrupt. They're the ones that lose their homes. They're the ones that lose everything. They had a passion for chemo buddies, and then all of a sudden it's like, man, I'm feeding this thing myself. I'm doing all the work. I'm taking everybody's excuses. Right. 90% of companies fail. More than that of charities fail, and the charities fail faster because there's no infrastructure. And there's no accountability, and there's no way for the players of that game to win. Now, when people come in, you got 4 things, right? Every single week, it's yes, no, no, right? We know where we're at. And so at the end of the day, people in a charity are heart service people that want to see an accomplishment. And so everybody, if we get to Giving Tuesday, when we get to Giving Tuesday, and we crush that goal of 50,000, and we've signed up more chemo buddies, more buddies than we have people that are going through chemo and that are suffering through the recovery that they're doing, the
right, the new normals. Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
All of that crushing thing, which is why you've set this up in the first place. There's going to be more people to put their arms around them than they know what to do with.
Exactly. And thank you for bringing all of that to light, because and let's just make this clear, everyone, that Jason Sisnero, he is the business coach. When they put those 5 coaches together for the program, of which I was crowned the first Next Impactor, first global Next Impactor, and they had the PR person, the media person, and the business person, and on and on. You were brought in because of your business sense, your ability to get in and just boom, make it happen. And you actually, I love it, because we actually had yesterday, we had or today, I don't even remember now. It was one of my Zooms recently that you weren't on, and and Christopher was on it with me though, and we're talking about the G-spot, and people are like, and so then it was like, oh, and so we were both like, oh, wait, there's something here, it's like, because we just now. The lingo is like, okay, the growth. And then Christopher, he actually is like, no, guys, it's growth.
It's growth.
It's growth.
And it's Jason who has to be naughty all the time, right? I mean, it's got to have a little bit of spice and a lot of fun. And
that's what I want to highlight too, because in truth, so many of the people that have been coming to us, which I let everybody know, I look for people that know more than I do in these different categories, because I want to learn from the best and work with the best. And then I want it to be an environment that I know that they're donating their time. Yeah. I realize that. And so that they can win in a variety of different ways, and to be able to be working with one of the top business coaches in the world, let's just be honest, that's also fun, that is a win. So we get there, and then you show up as basically the business person through the bald Avenger attitude sometimes. Why don't we talk a little bit about that too, because you have and the strategy behind it, because I really want to highlight that. I know you just are so genius in every move that you make, and I studied that. And when you were talking about the fact that you get these personalities, these name brands, if you will, to come to celebrate and to raise funds for nonprofits and causes, that can be pricey. And so you're like, okay, what do? You create one. You walk into that person, that persona. And so you decided to do that. I'm sure it's because that comes natural, because it does. However, it was a matter of, okay, I am going to wrap a full branding around this comedy act, or this comedy person called the Bald Avenger. So let's talk a bit about that, because the Bald Avenger shows up to our business meetings, and it makes it fun. Yeah, we get it done, and we've been getting it done pretty much in the amount of time that we need to. Well, look, even at the last minute, we have to hurry it up.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you when anybody that's ever done sports, right? You have a coach, right? And for everybody that's out there, I absolutely am not a business coach. Don't try to hire me. Don't try to it does. So I just want to make sure that I'm right. Your business coach, right? I'm your coach.
Yeah, but, right.
But what I have is I have built a consulting company, right?
Right.
And that consulting company has been trained. I have trained killers in there to take my strategies, because I had my own companies. I just had a big exit, and I just sold multitudes of my companies that I built for myself. It wasn't doing it for other people. It wasn't like I was and then we started a consulting company because of my book that's going to come out next year. We had to have some outside people that could be successful. And I was like, well, I hate consultants, so we'll do this for a little bit and then we're going to shut it down. Well, what we found out was that there was a huge need for, because when I did it, I was like, all right, we'll open it up. We'll get 10 stories for the book. We'll shut it down. And what I did was I set it up like I would have, because I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on worthless consultants, right? Hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so I don't have a good taste in my mouth for them. And so what I did was, all right, well, if we're going to do this 10 times, let's do it. Let's crush it for these companies. Let's get their stories for the book that they operated on my principles that I built my own companies with. And let's set it up in a way that I would have liked to, which is basically get paid for performance. Anybody in marketing and branding that comes to you and says, well, I need to have $8,000 or $10,000 a month and you need 50,000 down and like, look, branding and marketing, which I just opened a division of my company because I've done this so many times that we now have Anton J marketing. What happened was I've done that so many times and they don't perform. Right? Mm-hmm. They don't perform. And so I would much rather make an agreement with somebody that says they're a badass and give them part of my profits forever. Right. And that's how we built the consulting company, was if we show up, we don't work, we don't get paid. Right. That's how we set it up.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
So that started to get flooded. I'm building to your answer. Right. So then we started to get flooded with people that are like, that's an amazing principle. Like, I've never heard of a consultant that would ever step up and do it. So now I decided to bring in Jill Callow to run that. Right. And I teach that team. So I've got an amazing team over at Anton J, which is the consulting company, Anton J Global. And what they do, what I said was, all right, we're going to keep this open, but you know who we're going to help? We're going to help people who on their P&L are already donating money, because I've had now fully entered into my philanthropic phase of my life, had made money. Now it's my give back time, right? This started about 6 years ago. And so I said, here's our motto. We are going to help good people make more money so that they can get more time to do more good, right? So they'll have more money to do more good, because at the end of the day, if I go knock on your door and we've got a rescue to do of a 7-year-old little girl that's been stolen from Philadelphia and moved across into Mexico and is working their way down the pipeline in this human trafficking bullshit that goes on, right? And we need all of our resources. And I knock on your door and go, okay, I'm putting in 10 grand. We need about 100 grand to go down and make this thing work, or whatever it is. And I knock on your door and you're broke. You're going to go, I'm going to send you with my prayers, which is phenomenal. I want the prayers. Right. But what I decided at that point in time, which led to the Bald Avenger, was that I had a skill set that I have paid millions, literally. I mean, people say that they're broke. At one point in time, I had gone bankrupt 3 times in a row consecutively and was $2.5 million in debt, right? Mm-hmm. I had screwed and broken down and just every relationship that I had, the bank, I owed everybody, and so when people say they're broke, I'm like, I had a party.
Yeah, you understand, right?
I had a party when I became worth zero. I meant that I made up $1,000. Yeah. So all of that led. Now I'm like, okay, we're going to have a consulting company with a purpose, right? You said that before. Everything connects for me. It's all interconnected. We only have one life. We only have so much energy, and all of us have the same 24 hours in a day. So I want to optimize my health and I want to optimize my wealth for the purpose of serving other people, right? And so that led to that consulting company now doing really good work in helping companies move to the next level. So now I knock on the door. It just happened 2 weeks ago, right? You Abby and Abby and Mark Moreland, right? They started out with the 12-week course, the G-Spot, which is what you were referencing before. Then they brought us in when they made some more money, right? And then they made a crap load more money. And then they showed up at one of the events that I was doing.
Right.
Take us check, that was the epitome of what I had envisioned in my head, that if I help enough good people make more money, then we're going to be able to make an impact and really not just go out there and like, I wish this wasn't this way, but to get our asses in there and to work and to put money into Chemo Buddies for Life and to put money into Feed a Billion, to put money into New Dawn, and to put money into a Fusion Project, and all of the Alianza and all of the things that are out there that need money, and people that aren't just sending out like awareness bullshit, right?
Right.
It's great to be aware.
Yeah.
But it's another one to be impactful.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So
right.
that
in the trenches. Yes.
Right,
yes.
That led into saying, okay, what can I do? When I got to the end of it, and I was like, all right, and it was at the end, and you'd been at a few of these events actually, where I was we were bringing in high level entertainers, right? Big names, the Ashton Kutchers and the those types of things.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, man, that's really cool. Because if Ashton Kutcher says, hey, donate to Chemo Buddy for Life, that shit gets seen by almost 1 billion people, right?
Right.
Massively impactful. So I went through that stage, and I started to realize that there was a lot of power behind celebrity. Mm-hmm. And it's very difficult to deal with celebrities because they're really about not all of them. Ashton Kutcher is a prince of a human being. Right. Yeah. But a lot of them are like, they don't care about what you're doing. They just want the $250,000 check. They don't care. They don't give a shit. We'll show up. We'll send out a couple tweets, write me a big check, and make sure that all of my M&Ms are green,
Yeah.
So we got to the end of that. And I knew that this buyout, this buyout of my company was happening. And I looked at my team and I said, well, why don't I just become a celebrity?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love it.
And everybody laughed except the longest. Mm-hmm. And they said, no, I think he's serious. Yeah. And I said, I'm only missing 2 things that Ashton Kutcher has, right? Talent and good looks. Everything else I got. So we started like, what do we do? Do we go to Hollywood? Do we, what kind of a scenario are we going to do? I'm like, here's the thing. I love to have fun. I love to have fun. I love to joke. And so I was like, I'm going to become a comedian. Yeah. Why not? And so the very first time I ever went on stage and did my act was at a New Dawn. And that was the very first time. We saved it for her. We launched it. And there you go. That was it, right? That was the night. And so that now wraps around. You say the Bald Avenger shows up to these business meetings. Well, now I've got the business side of what we do, where we made it affordable in that 12-week growth, mastering your business G-Spot. That's for everybody, mm-hmm. and for anybody. That's, to me, it's the first and last business program you'll ever need to buy. And whether you buy it or you don't, I could give a shit. I don't need your money. What I need you to do is become successful. Right.
Right.
Yes. Are selling their programs out there. Nothing against them, but they need it to pay their rent next month. I don't. I put everything I had, everything except for me being able to put my hands on your business. I put it all into that 12-week. I held nothing back. There's no bigger program. There's no mastermind. There's no anything except for the Unstoppable events that we're doing starting in 2020, which is for more misfits to be able to hang out with other misfits. The only reason that we extended into that was because I got tired of complaining about other people's events being nothing but pitch fests and being rah-rah sessions that nobody took anything from. Having dealt with me, that when I'm on stage, I'm teaching and I'm giving you something to do when you leave, right? And
absolutely.
This Unstoppable event that we've got coming up, not 27, 28, and 29th in February, we're going to be there to help to get all of us together, all of us that are genuinely trying to build something, right? Mm-hmm. Pictures you got. I love it. So
I love this one. I had to find a place to put it.
It's all my personalities, like in one photo.
Yeah, I know. So we've got the Misfit Nation. We've got the event taking place in 2020. Yeah. We have, the business, the G-Spot. We've got, and then I've got your back.
Yep.
It's all,
it all plays
there.
together. My point is it all plays together because it's for a purpose. I'm measuring, what we're doing. When I decided to do the Bald Avenger podcast, the baldavengershow.com, for those of you that want to see it, I said our goal for 2019 was for us to have over 1 million downloads, right? And we are already past that. I had no, like, we're getting 75, 80,000 downloads of each episode now, which to me blows my mind. Even though we set it to be high, it still blows me away. But it all comes back to what you're talking about with these meetings. You played the game to win. You played the next impactor to win.
Right. It was all out. It was all out.
All out. You put it on the table, and there's still people complaining about it. You know what I mean? And you, instead of complaining, you just said, I'm going to make the most that I can out of this scenario, because the next impactor was the first season. What did they expect? Simon Cowell and $150 million production, like the next, like whatever. The issue was the first season. And so you showed up and you trudged through that. And while other people were finding everything in the world to complain about, you marched through. And I said this, the night before everybody, knew that you were I go, Tamara won this thing. I said, I had a pretty good idea in my head of the top 5. But I said, Tamara, if Tamara doesn't win this, it's going to be some sort of a tragic travesty to me, because you outworked everybody. You outworked everybody. And you did it with a smile, and you did it. And I mean this, like, there's a difference between the worst thing that you could be told sometimes in life is how amazing you are, right? The worst thing in life sometimes is being told how beautiful you are. The worst thing that you can be told sometimes is how smart you are. The best thing that you can be told in this life, and there's so many studies that back this up, is how hard of a worker you are.
True. I agree.
And you outworked everybody. And that's the reason why, you won. Obviously you won as a part of the package was to work with me. Right. Mm-hmm. But regardless of whether you won that package or not, or you would have been in second place or whatever the scenario would have played out, I would have had your back anyway, because that you are rare, young lady. You're rare. And what's rare about you is that you are able to work through and smile and love and smile and love. And you don't fucking complain. You don't engage in other people's horse shit. You don't engage in gossip. You don't it's very difficult for you, even when somebody has pissed you off, to get you to say a coarse word against someone. And that, I can tell you, is rare in this world. You need to be celebrated. You are the person that should be lifted up. You're the one. There's so many douchebags that are on stage these days that are out there pounding their chests about who they are and what they've done. And the only damn thing that they're doing is selling hope and dreams and smoke and bullshit up people's asses all the time, instead of telling them, look at people like Tamara and model what this woman does. She works her ass off. She loves people. She's put herself out on the line. She went through cancer. She beat cancer. And now what she's done is she goes back and she gives that to those people who are walking that path. That to me is fucking gorgeous. And that's what needs to be celebrated. And that's what needs to be lifted up. And so that's why I have your back. When I say I've got your back, it's till death do us fucking part, is what I mean.
Well, there you go. I'm in it. Then, thank you. Thank you for that. Yes, guys. Yes, that touched my heart. And this man has a way of doing that because he's real. And I appreciate that so very much. Let's talk now about what we are doing with this event. And I am so proud of our team. I have to say that, yes. And in the last even 24 hours, I have been talking with so many of them in regards to both categories. Mm-hmm. We have, for example, the fundraising. We are behind in that right now. However, I have a friend that has said, okay, I'll come and I'll coach. Mm-hmm. On Monday night at your meeting. We'll coach, we'll go over scripts, we'll come up with the strategy. There is a way to make this happen still. Okay, so that right there, so exciting. what an opportunity for people, because it's a win-win-win. An opportunity for people that would probably not normally be able to work with this person, someone Rob Clark, and he's a businessman. That he gets in there and he finds ways of being able to make it a good strategy for a company to then donate to a nonprofit. So we got a whole strategy. So anybody that's interested in being a part of our fundraising team, we are looking for more people. We really are. And all of the fundraising team currently, let's be ready to learn and work and make this thing happen. Then on top of it, I was on a Zoom call today with someone that is helping us to not only build the, because it's about bringing more buddies in and being able to enroll and having a place ready for them to go. It was, okay, the strategy, the end result. How are we going to actionably be able to do this? What are we going to be quantify? How can we track this? How can we do this in business? And we came up with the how we can do it now to go into the future. And I'm like, bingo, that is exactly it. So again, having the goal, the outcomes, the outcomes set from the beginning, and then working it. And so that is, and then being able to have the people show up, because that's what I will say that I've been learning also from you. It's a matter of having them show up, having the 4 actionable, massive actions, that they can do, the MEOs, and that then, did they do it in a week? Something that you can do in a week. So 4 massive things. And then if you have 30 people that show up times the 4, you had that many massive, important outcomes that are taking place. Well, then you still have to have the infrastructure. And that is the thing that I am very proud of too within this group, is that we went backwards. We brought in those people that are, and I asked for them, that are going to hold me accountable, that are going to hold this organization accountable, because you can't have a 501c3 nonprofit that doesn't have a high level of integrity, that is not completely transparent, that is not out there truly serving their community. How, what, where, who, why, all of that. And then be able to then say, okay, auditors, come in, make sure that we're 100% good. And then have your people that are even more, I fondly say, I have compliance officers and that are brutal, if you will, and I'm proud of that, because that's what you need to have in anything that's going to be worth its salt. And so, and I haven't been highlighting everybody's comments, guys. It's because, this is really, first of all, I got really wrapped up into what was being said. And also I want to be able to get this message out there, because now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the goal of it is about the outcome. And we talked about this at our last meeting, and you basically said, okay, where are we at? Well, we're behind the game. Yep. And so then you put it out there. Okay, every single person, just put it down the line there, Aaron. Every single person needs to commit to them helping to make this happen. And we have a site that this team has built. We have, it's easy to donate. We have programs ready to go. We just need to make it happen with the raising funds. Yeah. And so I'm going to
so talk a little bit about where the funds are going and what they're going to be used for.
Absolutely. Number 1, we are building an internet nonprofit that, think of a Match.com, comes to the cancer world, that then has community piece to it. So you think about your brick and mortar location, where if someone's going through cancer and they need help with, let's say, even their utilities, let's say they need help with even re-education for the workforce. Let's say that they need help in navigating through insurance paperwork. Let's say that they need that the big component too, because this is what started it all, is that they're isolating themselves. Many of them are. And the reason that we're doing it through the internet, let's make this really clear, is that when I was going through my cancer, yes, I'm a survivor, that I was not even allowed to go to the brick and mortar location because my other health issues created a dangerous situation for me to go out in public. So if you need these types of services, this kind of help, then what do? You call the current nonprofits that are out there for cancer. And let's say you don't qualify because maybe you need help in this one particular area, but your income is too high. However, you need assistance. That is what we are building. We are building a community of people that are coming, volunteers that are experts, and then we will be able to use the funds where they are needed for the community that we're serving. And
well, it's interesting. It's interesting to me what you've done. It's funny how badly government can screw up. I always say that they can screw up a wet dream, and that's really hard. And so
a little bald Avenger coming out, guys. See, this is why it's so fun.
A little bit.
Okay,
well, he's never far away. He's never far away. But at the end of the day, what we're looking at here is that cancer is one of the scariest things that someone can be told that they have. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's deathly frightening. Now, there's two people that are affected by cancer: the person who has it, and the person, and all of the people who love that person. Right. And so what happens is there's a quick devastation to financial resources. There's a quick devastation to emotional resources. There's people that are around, that can't watch it, and then they end up leaving that person, right?
Yes.
They leave them completely by themselves. And so there's community and financial resources that is what Chemo Buddies for Life is all about, right? It's community and it's resources. And that $50,000, you don't know where it's going to go, but where it is going to go to the highest level need of someone that has it, right? They're going to lose their house. Here's a couple payments for you, right? You're about to lose your car. Here's a payment for your car. All right. Well, you've got to have somebody to watch your house while you're going through all this. Great. Okay. So it's not covering all of your health bills. Here's some money, right? And to bring all of those resources together for people to be able to support each other without the interference or rules of the, what happens out in the government, So there's a lot of resources here. The reason why, again, you're number one reason, but the other one is that you're easing suffering. That's what the Bald Avenger exists for, is to ease suffering in the world. That's what the Misfit Nation is all committed to. There's all kinds of other things about Misfit Nation, but that is number one. We're all committed to easing suffering. And so Chemo Buddies for Life and this program that you're putting together, you're putting so much of your soul. Now, look, you're putting all of your soul. It's not just some of it. It's not like you have time or energy for anything else that you're like, sometimes I paint. And the other day, I have a bridge club with you're all in on this thing. And so
from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed. Yes.
Giving Tuesday is the place for people to show up. And what you're doing, which is unlike a lot of other places, is that you are looking for all of that 24-hour period of time to add value to anyone who is participating, whether they give you money, whether they become a buddy, or whether they have cancer, they just come there for support, or if they come there and they're just entertained, right?
Right. I'm all about winning. There's got to be more than one win in everything I do, and you know that. Absolutely.
And that's the outcome. And what you're doing it in the most selfless way. You're giving all of yourself, and you're there to add value to anyone that participates. Right.
Yes.
So even the donors, they get recognition if they want it. They get anonymity if they want it. But this is an organization. Look, the reason I came on your show today was I wanted everybody in the world who listens to and loves and follows the Bald Avenger, or Jason Sisnero, or Anton J on that side, to know that this Tuesday that she's putting together is going to be spectacular. And sometime during that 24-hour period of time, please
36 hours, 36.
36, right?
Yeah.
During that 36-hour period of time, please show up and say hi. You know, come in and listen to some of the people that are talking. Just come in and show up, right? And if it's $5, if it's $50, if it's $5 million, and you want to write a check that day, you know, this is a phenomenal organization to be able to do that for.
Thank you. Thank you. And the thing that I really want to stress too is that we are a nonprofit in the cancer arena that is front line to those people we're serving. And I know what that means being a cancer survivor, because I did call some of those nonprofits that are out there, and I'm not going to talk them down at all, because many of them have helped many of us survive. And let's also make it clear that it doesn't matter what type of treatment someone decides to go for. The name is modeled after the two original buddies, of which I am one of them. However, if you choose to go with traditional, alternative, or adjunctive, it doesn't matter. Our stand is don't do it alone.
This is I want to emphasize your point. I want to emphasize what you're saying is that Chemo Buddies for Life doesn't mean you have to go through chemo. It's not advocating a specific type of treatment at all. Not only that, it's not an organization that's looking to cure cancer. Right?
No, we're not raising funds for research at all. It goes straight to the community.
I think that the people that make the most off of cancer research and curing cancer have the least incentive to even do that, right? So what you're talking about is let's fund an organization that's there to ease suffering for the people that are experiencing it. The people that have it, the people that are being impacted by it, the families that love those people that have it, right? Exactly. That's what this organization is about.
Exactly. And we're creating not only an organization, we're creating a community within it. And so it's a place for them to be able to feel like they can go home. And that is so critically important for the well-being of those that are going through this, because the heart and the mind actually have something to do with the healing. And that is something that we are that is like one of the, you talk about job one is to get them through this, because it doesn't have to define them.
Yeah, well, and at the end of the day, you look at, you know, I've mentioned it almost every show I'm on, but, you know, you've got Man's Search for Meaning, right? Where you had this gentleman that got just ripped out of his life and put into a concentration camp simply because he was Jewish. And at the end of the day, what he said was that he was more free than his captor, right? And so if nothing else, what this organization does is it puts somebody say, I'm going to get through this so I can be there for just like these people are being here for me. I'm going to get through this shit so that I can be there for somebody else. And that is a reason to live. And that, by God, is by far and away the most powerful medicine ever created on planet Earth. Exactly.
That, you said it. And you know how true. Because that is what, you know, I keep things simple in my life, and I love The Lion King, the movie, and it goes along with what my grandmother used to always say, and that is what comes around goes around. What goes around comes around. And you think about the circle of life, and that's exactly what we are doing here, is that we are helping people to understand that they can live through this. It doesn't have to define them. It doesn't even have to have the power and the scary that it used to have. We are taking that power away, and we can do that. We can really do that. We have been allowing cancer to have too much power, and it's been documented that if we truly believe, it's just like winning the next impactor. It's just like owning, you know, and becoming the next Jerry Lewis telethon on Giving Tuesday Giveathon. It is that belief, and that is what we are bringing. That is what we are sharing, and that is what we are going to be taking out to the world. And so that we can actually live through this, not let it define us, and help others to do the same.
And not only that, but I want to encapsulate, you know, sort of put a pin in what you just said, because you're an epitome of it, is that people think that they need to rest. They think that they need to take a breath. They think that they need to, you know, I need a vacation. I blah, blah, blah. What happens is the more you give, the more capacity to give you have, right? And the capacity is your health, your energy level, your compassion, your love, your intellect, your ability to be able to earn. Like, you know, the capacity when I started, you know, 8 years ago or whatever it was in philanthropy, and I'm like, I'm time to give back, right? Time to give back. I can tell you that every aspect of my life exploded. My relationships are better. My finances were better. My happiness. I'm telling you, I cannot remember when the last time that I was actually sad was. And you know that I look through some horrific shit. Like, I go on these rescues. I see people dying of hunger. I see, you know, the women that are coming out all battered from a new dawn. You know, the people that are going through this scary thing called cancer. And I tell people all the time, Kat just snapshotted a conversation that we were texting back and forth. And she gets down because every once in a while, one of her dawns gets murdered by their husbands, right? One of her domestic violence, they get murdered. And that's happened to her 2 times. One was the reason why she started it, and one just happened the other day. And what happens, you get people that come in, they don't make it through cancer, right? You get so attached to them, and they don't make it, right? They're not that side of things. And what will happen is if you take on all that stuff, it's about you. If you take that on and you're like, oh, I'm so sad. Look, I get crying over the death of someone. I get it. I understand it, right? But the more that we dwell in it, the more that we reach out for other people's attention for it, the attention doesn't belong on us. The attention doesn't belong on us. It belongs on the person's life to celebrate that person's life. It belongs on taking that lesson and being able to go to the next woman and say, look, do not end up one of those statistics, right? Do not give up on yourself if you have cancer. There are people that are living through it. There are people that are not just living through it. There are people that are thriving and becoming healthier when they get on the other side of it than they ever were. Like, do not, and somebody has to stand in that space and be able to tell them, let's do it, right? And
exactly
you do that if you're taking on all of this stuff because you want to connect with your fucking emotions, right? Oh, for me, like I lost it. Look, I get it. There's time to mourn, and that time to mourn is in private and away from other people. Right? And to cry and to scream and yell at the sky, and then get over it and get back to work as a happy warrior to ease suffering in this world.
And I will tell you this too. One of the things that we have implemented from the very beginning is that our buddies serve each other. And some of our stage 4s, in particular one right now, I can tell you know that their doctors wondered why they were still alive a year later, when they were like, there's no physical way I can even justify the fact that you're still alive. And it was because I have a reason to live.
Yes.
I am a Chemo Buddy. Yeah, I am a Chemo Buddy for Life ambassador, and I have a community to serve. And so when you're serving each other through it, yes, it helps you through those days. And so we do that too. I love what you just shared. So as I could keep going, but we're already into an hour. So as we start to close through, I want to say thank you, Jason. What would you like to leave everybody with?
I want to leave everybody with the mantra and the mission and the campaign that we are all going into 2020 with, and that's to ease suffering. Right? Number one, that's overarching, is to become someone who has all of the resources available to you, the tip-toppity of your health, the tip-toppity of your wealth, and the tip-toppity of your proximity. And those are the 3 things that I'm committed to for now. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I'm here to make people laugh, but it's for a purpose. There's nothing that I say that does not have a message impacted inside of it. I am not a comedian that wants to say filthy shit just to say filthy shit and to push the edge. That is not who I am. If I end up on your stage, if I end up in front of you, if I end up on our lives like this, or if I end up, there's a message in the madness, right?
Yes.
There's a message in the madness.
Yes.
And so as you go into 2020, you must focus on your purpose, right? You got to have that, like, if it's not easing suffering, whatever it is, it's to get yourself out of debt. It's to get yourself healthy. It's to, to help your kids from being addicted to opioids. It's to reconnect with your wife, to disconnect from your wife, to, whatever those things are, you got to figure that shit out, because you got to get strong yourself. And so the Misfit Nation is committed to health, wealth, and proximity next year. And so, and that's, if you focus on those three things, proximity means be judicious as a mofo, right? I'll tone it down for your audience just a little bit. Be judicious as a mofo with those that you surround yourself with. Their energy, if you have a drama person in your life, get rid of them. If you have somebody that is smiling to your face, but they talk shit behind your back, get rid of them. If you have somebody in your life that needs you to stay with them at their level for them to feel good about themselves, get rid of that person. Do what you can to force yourself into the world of other people. That's why we created the Unstoppable event. I want all of us in the same damn room, hearing the same damn message, getting the same damn energy boost, getting the same damn kick in the ass with the same damn strategies at the same time. I'm done complaining about other people's events. I'm done.
I love it. I love it.
And show up on Giving Tuesday, because I've got a segment in there. I'm going to be bringing some brand new material. It's all going to be new material. And
cool.
And for entertainment purposes and for messaging purposes. But if you're looking for, if you've been touched by cancer, if you in any way, shape, or form, I can tell you that this is going to be one you're going to look back on this last couple of years, and you're going to look at Tamara and go, she was a pioneer, and I was part of it, and I participated, and I just wanted to come here and smother all over you the Bald Avenger, approval and love and Misfit Nation supporting you and behind you 1000%. And just to let you know that just if you're looking for a place to participate in this world of cancer, as we figure out a way to crush it and get rid of it, be here for each other. And this is a great community to do so.
Thank you. Thank you for everything, and back at you, smothering back at you. There you go. And so, yes, we have fun, and yes, we are making a difference, and yes, I will absolutely own the fact that this is going to be, mark our words, this is going to be the largest nonprofit that is going to support those people that are affected by cancer throughout the world. Hands down, this is we're a few years into it now. However, at some point in time, if anybody ever hears those words, and someday when they hear, it's a generational thing and we're still healing through it, no longer is it happening, but they still need help, they're going to say, okay, you heard those words, next thing, go get a buddy. That is where this is going. And so it's a matter of, if you want to be a part of the history and the legacy of something that is so big, like the beginning of Make-A-Wish, like the beginning of so many of the others, like the beginning of Jerry Lewis Telethon, then get involved with us, because you know what? We are going to own Giving Tuesday. We are making a mark, and we are not going to stop. Not going to stop until this is exactly what we are sharing. And so get involved. It's fun. And we have a goal to meet. And we are so very far behind, but it can happen in a moment and I believe, and I know. So go to this website, CB4L.org. It's right there in the beginning. Donate today, donate often. Come. We're starting at noon on December the 2nd, Cyber Monday. And we are going to be going 36 hours live. I am going to be live the whole time. I'm going to have other people live with me. We're going to be going remote throughout the world. We're going to be entertaining with like the Bald Avenger. It is there is a way for everybody to win in this. And in the end, the people that are going to win are going to be those people that right now in the middle of the night are afraid and alone. And they don't know where to turn, and they don't even know how they're going to get through the fact that they are dealing with cancer. We don't want them afraid any longer, and they don't have to be. When we build this, they will have a place to go. So help us make that happen now.
I love it. And share with anybody that you know that's been impacted by cancer at all in any way, shape, or form. Get them to watch some of these lives. Get them to, get them to that Cyber Monday all the way through that 36 hours. Just get them there, because that's who Tamara loves. That's who we love. That's who everybody who's supporting her. And there's a giant group of human beings on the volunteer side of this that are some of the most impressive human beings that I've ever met. And they're all here to serve this message and you and anybody that's gone through this. So I love you, my dear.
I love you too. Thank you so much. And I love all of you that have showed up. Please hashtag live, hashtag replay. And yes, share. See you later. I'll see you guys in the morning. We are counting down. Bye.